Alright, what's going on, you guys? Brian back here with another recap video. This time I'm going to quickly recap everything that went down on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's just get into it. We heard from Randy Orton, who suffered last week first-degree burns to his face at the hands of Alexa Bliss when she shot a fireball last week at Randy Orton and it hit him in the face. He was wearing a mask to cover up his burns. He made reference to what happened last week. He talked about he doesn't blame Alexa Bliss. He blames the Fiend. He's gonna win the Royal Rumble match, even though reports were indicating that he's not even gonna be it. He's not gonna be in it. He's gonna be fighting the Fiend. But he said he's gonna win the Royal Rumble. He's gonna go to WrestleMania, and that was pretty much it. Charlotte Flair defeated Peyton Royce in one-on-one action. During the match, Nature Boy Ric Flair, who helped Lacey Evans defeat Charlotte last week, he came out and brought out Lacey Evans, who came out wearing one of Charlotte's robes. Then, in a backstage interview a little bit later on in the show, Charlotte was like, Lacey, you may be with Lacey might be with her dad, but she's never gonna have Charlotte's crown as the queen. So that was it for that. So obviously that feud's gonna continue. We had a Hurt Business and a Riddle backstage segment that ended with Lashley giving a compliment to Riddle by saying he likes flip flops, but he heard that they're bad for your feet, and he wound up stepping on or stomping on one of Riddle's feet. So that was it for that. We heard from Mustafa Ali before the next matchup. He basically had rehashed what happened in 2019, where Kofi Kingston and Kofi Mania and Ali missed out on an opportunity back in 2019. So he basically made it clear that he wants to hurt the New Day, specifically Kofi Kingston, and make him feel what he felt back in 2019. And he hopes that Kofi's broken jaw that Kofi suffered in his matchups with the Hurt Business keeps him out of the Royal Rumble match, keeps him out of the Elimination Chamber. So then that way he'll know what Ali felt like back in 2019. Then we had Mace of Retribution defeating Xavier Woods. It was what it was. It continues the feud that they have going between the New Day and Retribution. We had Alexa's Playground with Alexa Bliss, and her guest was Raw Women's Champion as well as one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka. This was to play into their match coming up later on in the show. Alexa, when Asuka was trying to console Alexa, Asuka mentioned that the Fiend was still here, and then Alexa got mad and said, "Don't ever mention his name again. Don't mention his name again." And that was it for that. There was a bit of look of intimidation on Asuka's part during this segment, and even in the main event against Alexa Bliss. We had Shayna Baszler, who has declared her entry into the Royal Rumble match, the Women's Royal Rumble match this year. She defeated Mandy Rose. Also during that segment with Alexa and Asuka, Alexa also declared herself as an entry into the Women's Royal Rumble match. So that's going to be interesting to see how the other 29 women cope with Alexa's being in that match, because, and I'll get to the main event in just a moment. We had AJ Styles defeating Ricochet. So Ricochet apparently will not be in the Royal Rumble match this year. We had a dirt sheet segment with Miz and John Morrison. They had said that they had acquired an interview with Goldberg. However, it was not. It was with Gilbert and a guy dressed up as Drew McIntyre that would come out. Of course, Drew McIntyre and Goldberg are going to face off for Drew's WWE Championship. Miz, trying to make jokes about this matchup, brings out Gilbert. Then McIntyre's music hits. Then here comes a guy dressed up as McIntyre, and wherever they got this guy from, they really should have did a better job. I mean, I know that they were trying to make a joke about this with McIntyre and Goldberg, but they could have did at least a better job because uh, it was what it was. Um, then Miz hinted that he might cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase at the Royal Rumble, even though he's one of the 30 entries in the men's Royal Rumble match. Um, and that was it for that segment. Then we had the Hurt Business defeating Lucha House Party and Riddle in a 6-man tag when Lashley locked in the Hurt Lock on Grand Metalik to make him submit. There was some dissension between the Hurt Business during this match because each one of them were tagging each other in, but they were like sarcastically just tagging themselves in, and when the other person was not wanting to tag out. So that was it for that. Then we heard from WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, who talked about the segment, the Dirt Sheet segment. He thought it was funny. He then mentioned Goldberg, and he then mentioned that he'll be at Raw next week, so that'll be huge. And then a little bit later on in the show, they announced that both McIntyre and Goldberg will be on Raw next week on the go home show before the Royal Rumble event, which happens a week from Sunday. Then we had Jeff Hardy, who has declared entry into the men's Royal Rumble match. He defeated Jackson Riker via disqualification when Elias got involved. This obviously continues that storyline and feud. And then in the main event, Alexa Bliss, in a strange fashion, defeated Raw Women's Champion Asuka. Alexa came out. She came out all happy, she was smiling. She was during the match she was smiling, but then when she got Asuka on the outside of the ring, then the lights went off. When the lights come back on and they came back from commercial, Alexa was in this hypnotic state, and she was looking at Asuka and did not look, it was just eerie, spooky, and it was just Asuka didn't know what to make of it. She was trying to go, she went for shots, but then Alexa, every time Asuka would go for would go to hit her, she would block it. Then to end the match, Alexa hit Sister Abigail on Asuka, and Alexa Bliss pinned Asuka 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring to end a weird main event. So that pretty much was it for tonight's episode of Raw. It was so-so. It was not bad, but it was not good. It was okay. I can't wait to see Impact tomorrow night. To see what the fallout from Hard to Kill was. But yeah, pretty much this wraps it up for my Raw recap. As always, if you guys watched tonight's show, if you guys watched tonight's Monday Night Raw, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. As always, I am Brian, and see you next time.